I'm just freaking trying to figure out how to do this. Here we go. Beep. I'm just trying to remember how to freaking do this. There we go. There we go. And also, freaking anybody watching this, freaking see there's a fan in the background. Well, freaking hot as freaking crap up here. I'm just doing some. This is what freaking the pain in the ass thing about trying to be a freaking somewhat professional YouTuber, ladies and germs. After I send this freaking link out to everything, and I wanted to send it to all so we can start this for real. Sorry. And of course, my internet signal's going to crap. Of course. Alright, let's do this. Pretty sure this is the Titan that got freaking really effed up at the beginning of freaking past season. Yeah.
Have failed.
Now there won't be any background noise. Being a bathroom. But that means AC. Our journey has been continuing for freaking how long, Bungie? That's a piece of freaking point, Frederick. Commander! Can't see me slowly because this freaking crap jacket is freaking light in my room.
난 어둠 속에서 태어난 끔찍한 것들을 봤어. 매 순간 그 미래가 다가와.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
And the music. Ready?
And I remember every freaking one of these things when I went through. I only ever beat you once, Kingsfall. And I only ever intended on beating you once, back in B1. Fuck you, though.
God.
I don't miss old freaking Aldrin. I'm glad we have the Crow.
Holy crap.
About time we go to the main.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
Sir Happy Air is back.
우린 너의
구원이다.
This cutscene was tricky as shit. And I remember freaking sweating in the tower forever for the Almighty to blow up. That was a cluster.
함께 건너가자.
Holy crap. This got me feeling things.
I remember this cutscene too. I said I always love squishing the hive ghost. Spider-Man, bitches.
I'm afraid.
And then there's freaking what? This shit.
Oh my god. What is he doing? No way.
The boy himself, Cade. That's your Cade. Finally get the freaking see this after waiting a bit. Let's freaking do this, people.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive.
Really?
In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our
Destiny
sky.
1 intro, baby.
It wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others, an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning into halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon.
Last wish, which I never
But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world.
That cutscene,
together,
that scene from the freaking one of the early D1 trailers.
Who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape. We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult.
It's gonna be freaking fun.
And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world. A vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open.
That's fun.
Is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
I've been looking forward to this. When our ghost first found us, I still remember when I first met mine.
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back. Why you were chosen.
Walter Glass.
The truth is, I didn't know them.
Gallahorn, bitches!
It was just a feeling.
Beat it, Vex. What the heck?
But I know now.
Is this being nod to the freaking climbing the mountain and freaking
After
throw Winter
all
Peak?
we've seen,
Hey! Hi,
all
Cora.
we've lost. This fight
Zavala.
might be our last.
Are these all the Guardians that have
So
died?
I'm asking you
What the frick?
one last time
What in the world is going on?
to rise.
Yep, those are freaking some old ass Guardians in that freaking shot. And I cannot wait to freaking kick your ass, Witness. I can't wait.
This is a momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off
I
this
just cannot wait for
epic
freaking the final
confrontation
shape.
with the
It's gonna be
Witness that
freaking
we've been
epic.
setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by Ghost at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help, and it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Took a while.
Inside is the pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
You can finally get to see the Pale
The
Heart.
Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
I cannot wait to
In the
freaking
final shape,
play this
we're
expansion.
going to
It's going to be freaking
answer
awesome.
questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our ghost, get to reconnect with Cayde 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
Freaking having an Avengers Endgame moment in this. That's the old tower.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange. It makes
That's
you
the
feel
tree
a
of
bit
silver leaves, at least
uncomfortable,
what's left of it.
and it is also just so cool and
was
artistic
trippy.
in the best way.
That's also trippy.
The
Hi,
Witness
douchebag.
entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind
Not
of
this guy,
shape
freaking the
what's
Witness.
there.
Fuck that guy.
When our Guardian enters, the
I mean the
rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
Oh god, freaking looking at Destiny, freaking Rise of Iron version of freaking where we,
the world in front of you.
yeah,
as
where
a
we were
song
revived.
journey.
One of the most memorable Blotalis from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team.
It's gonna be weird
The
going
final
to the
shape means
tower
so
while it
much
looks like that.
to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever
That
done.
gun looks cool.
I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in
Where the
danger,
fuck are we at now?
in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They
Of course,
see
Taken.
things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel
Hey, that guy's holding Kvastov.
You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
It's gonna be like
One of
freaking
the
I'm
things
not
that
gonna
we
be on
really
some
tried
shit, isn't it?
to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Ah, god damn it! That freaking the
Subjugators
tormentors weren't
are
bad
the
enough. Now we
new
gotta
unit
fight
you're
these
gonna
new
be facing
freaking assholes.
in the final shape. They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
That's what we need. Is another freaking annoying ass brand new enemy like the freaking tormentor.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place,
Oh, that's interesting.
tangling you up.
The sidearm one too.
We're focusing you on
Seriously, that version of the tower looks so freaking weird.
It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard
Got the OG
team gets
Vanguard
together.
back.
Zavala and Ikora and Cayde.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart.
That face
After
on the
you've
rock right
reached
there to the right
monolith
thing was
and
weird.
Finish the campaign. We open up the entire destination, and so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all guardians to be able to overcome.
Hey, that's where
the
we
final shape
right
and-
by where we spawned for the first time.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
Unless you're a lone wolf like me. That's a battle axe.
The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the.
So now we
amount
get a
of
super where we can
projectiles.
just
Your
freaking snap
grenade
freaking flaming
almost
shit
being
at people.
Sentient as it searches
I approve.
around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch.
That guy's wearing what looks like
The
freaking
new
old
Solar
Iron Banner
Warlock
armor.
aspect. When I cast my Rift,
From
it is
D1.
going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very.
That'd be
alive.
useful.
Twilight
What was that gun?
Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one.
So
looks
basically,
at
we're
the
freaking
super
going full on
enemy,
Viking
throws
with his
it.
freaking axes
And
now.
when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around, and you and your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
The Hunter Arc super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The Hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife, and throws it across the world.
Another
and
freaking
then is
super
able to blink
freaking
to
hunters that where they
position
involve
with a
yeet and
slash
shit.
that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about that is not just you do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The Hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That was good, but I think it's more like... You know?
I like it, I like it.
I will say these new supers are pretty cool. But as a freaking most as a warlock main these days, freaking I'm probably going to be using that solar one a lot.
Exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting.
Of
your
course, it's showing
Guardian's
off the pre-order
current
bonus
damage type.
exotic.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot.
Which,
so
yes,
you'll be
I am
able to
getting.
run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile. It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if golden gun was a sniper rifle.
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1
Oh
weapons,
God, they're bringing back Dragon's
and
Breath.
turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvatstav into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath. Burn the world, burn it all. In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality. So for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always like the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage. They have a mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
Weapons team is always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Come on, take a load off. You've got a lot to cover.
Oh,
This
jeez,
place
Cade.
is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec. I
If you ever see Forsaken, buddy.
This is great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
You're the worst motivational speaker ever, Cade. I still love you though.
Well, better get back to it.
So glad he's back.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cade is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into
I'm just happy that he's
the
coming
nature
back.
of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together,
Yeah.
having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group, I think is going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
Yeah, for the
We
first
want
time
people
in
to take away
freaking
that
forever.
sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
I'm just so happy you're back, Cade.
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek.
Hey, Xeris, what are you
If we
doing?
contend with her sister, Xivu Arath. It rests with me.
Will you come back from this?
Do not be afraid.
Bring me your tithes.
Oh, great. Eris has gone full hive.
Now we
That's just
fight
freaking
magic
great.
And have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire Guardian and open the way to our tithes.
What gun is that?
Let them know fear. The deck of whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me. My appetite rises for your brutal trinkets.
We're only going to get to fight Zero Wrath at the end of the season?
Let us show her
Probably
what
not.
it is to be Hive. You have sounded the horn of battle. You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
I am so looking forward to hopping on the game after I get done with this reaction.
The Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first. And that bigger problem's name is Xivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good.
It's a wild ass idea. Yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers.
Oh boy.
It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your buildcraft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a
So
sucker
we're all
for
going to
deck
become
building.
freaking astrologians
Being able
for
to
Final
like bring
Fantasy
that element
14 now.
into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chess.
Yeah, oh,
it's really
super
fun.
So we've got two brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summoning's activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it, or you can spend
Really
2
get
hours.
into the freaking like
Got a
freaking World of
3-player
Warcraft
experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
We really wanted to make sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's
The only
some
one
of
I
the
haven't done
content
of
the
those
fans and
three
players
yet
in
is
Destiny love the most.
freaking
The
Vox
most
Obscura.
exciting thing, outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable. With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences. We wanted to make sure that
we focused the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex Network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, your shoulder
Showing
shoulder
off
more
freaking
often.
trial
There's not
shit.
as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass. We've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
boy.
you're going to be reaping Guardians with that thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push.
That's gonna be freaking fun to play.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Heidi this season. Obviously, there's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Heidi season, there's only one answer.
Hi, Crota.
I have seen what the Hive call.
Can't wait to freaking figure out how I'm gonna end up killing your ass again. This is going to be. Glad we actually brought back some good weapons from that raid.
Only a true
Necrochasm!
the light can stop his wrath.
What was the thing before it? I think. Oh, God. Eat it, bitch. The 1st of September is when that goes live. Of course.
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going
Oh,
to be
that
staying the
people
same.
just
I'm excited for this
cheating
because I
in
think there will be a lot
freaking
more
contest
clarity
modes.
for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the
Hey, it
game
works.
without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other Guardian to join you in this high level content.
When it's combined with Fireteam Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your
Well, at least that'll make it easier
Fighting
for
Finder
people.
is the new feature that's coming
to
in
raid
season
and shit.
23, aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational content in Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time. Exactly.
Tags really allows players to show a little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this launch, we're also looking at including inclusion tags.
As an example, one of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that
No, I think the rest of this is just people talking. 1 sec. But that was pretty much my live reaction to those trailers, people. Honestly, I'm excited, and I cannot wait. And also, I can't wait to freaking curb stomp Crota again, like I did back in D1. If you guys like this reaction, even though I didn't really talk much, but I'm not much of a talker, freaking, but I do, when I do have something to say, freaking, you know how it is. You guys like my reaction and everything? You like, comment, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Deuces, peace. And freaking also, I cannot wait to kick the witness's ass. Lone Wolf out.